Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, back with another video for you. A while ago, I gathered questions for a Q&A video, so that's what we'll be doing today. I'll have some timestamps to each question in the description, so feel free to bounce around to the ones that interest you. Starting off with the general one, a question I get a lot is, how do I make my gold? Keep in mind this is during the Legion expansion whenever you're watching this, but basically, my main methods for this expansion are taking advantage of alts and alchemy. I have made separate videos about these, but I'll go over them here again really quickly since it is a common question. The first thing I tell anyone looking for gold this expansion is flasks, and for this you only need level 1 alchemy, so no worries about leveling anything. For Legion, alchemists have 4 different flasks. One for stamina, another for agility, another for strength, and one for intellect. Flasks in general have always sold really well and are good money makers in any expansion really, but in Legion they're pretty good because of the rank 3 proc, which is whenever you're creating these flasks, you have a chance for them to multiply and proc more. I've had it proc over 20 times in just one craft. So, you'll learn the recipes for these flasks through the Legion questline, which you can knock out within a day. Faster if you're a tank or a healer, since you get faster dungeon pops. If you get stuck, I'll have a link to the whole quest chain in the description. So, you learn these flasks through the questline, but those are just rank 1. We want rank 3 to make the gold. You get the rank 2 recipes for each one from heroic or mythic dungeon bosses. You get the 10,000 scars from Odin in the Halls of Valor, rank 2 countless armies from Helia in the Maw of Souls, the 7th demon from Cordana Fellsong in the Vault of the Wardens, and Whispered Pact from Dantalionax in the Blackrock Hold. Again, all heroic or mythic mode. Once you have rank 2 of everything, to get rank 3, you just have to make the flasks, and there's a random chance that the rank 3 recipe will pop up in your bags. It is very RNG based, but as long as you're smart with the auction house, you can do it at no cost. What you want to do is buy the herbs to make the flask, but only buy them at a price to where you break even by reselling them, taking the 5% auction house cut into account as well. It does happen, you just have to check it every day. Every once in a while, people will be looking to dump their Bloods of Sargeras at the vendor in Dalaran, and often they'll just throw up a ton of herbs on there for cheap because they want some quick gold, and that's what you're on the lookout for. To help you with this, I suggest getting the Auctioneer add-on and scan regularly and be patient. Eventually, you will get rank 3 and from there, it's just the same thing except you'll be making a profit from your procs. And you don't need rank 3 of each one. Test the waters by getting just one flask at 3, and if it works out for you, then you can work on the others. I have all 4 at rank 3, so it's made me a lot of gold since I've been doing it since the beginning pretty much. Probably millions if I kept track of it because flasks are always in demand. A little tip to go out on is to post them on Tuesdays because that's when everyone is raiding and buying them up. You can usually get away by posting them at a higher price. And another way I make gold is basically taking advantage of alts. Alts have always been great for gold making, and while it's not as good as it was in Draenor, it's still pretty powerful in Legion. Order Hall missions, as you may know, are always good and you can snag 1,000 or 2 on a daily basis. This does require a lot of initial work of doing your Order Hall campaign to unlock the followers, leveling up their eye level, and so on. But once you get everyone up there, those gold missions are pretty good. And if you have them on multiple characters, it can add up quickly. To keep your character stocked with order resources, just visit the Blood of Sargeras vendor on your main character and buy those account-bound caches. And if you're one of the following classes, you can also get the Order Hall Tree perk that lets you instantly complete a world quest once a day, which is handy for resources as well. I also like having my alts with herbalism because if you're at 100 skill points or higher, you can get a world quest for the Fellwort herb every other day, which is great. You just fly on over to the zone, pick it up, and it's usually another 500 to 1,000 gold or so, depending on your server of course. More if you get the fellwort seeds, which you can plant in the ground for even more fellwort. You can do the same with mining and skinning with the infernal brimstone and fellhide, but those are less lucrative in my opinion. So those are my main two methods I guess, alt spam and alchemy. Honestly, I don't do it much these days because I don't really need the gold. I have more than I'll ever spend, so I really just focus on flasks for the most part, and even still, I'm pretty lazy with that anyways. But hopefully these tips help some of you out there. As for the next question, it's an interesting one, I'll give it that. When I was gathering questions for this, I said I'd pay more attention to the ones that got the more votes from the viewers, so I guess I gotta do it. And that's what is your favorite porn star by Debalju W. Well, my favorite porn star would have to be me.
Let the games begin.
Moving on, we have What is your favorite experience that you've had in World of Warcraft by Michael B. This is a pretty tough one, but it's probably when my guild killed the Twin Emperors in vanilla World of Warcraft. They were a boss in the Temple of Ankh-Kiraj raid, or AQ40 for short. Not counting optional bosses, they were the second to last boss preceding Cthulhu, and we were stuck on them for at least a month. We'd raid like 4 hours a day, 4 days a week I think, and 3 of those days were us grinding our skull against the wall, trying to kill these guys. It required extreme coordination from all 40 people, especially from the tanks, and we pushed, and after many 5%-ish wipes, one day we finally killed them after like a month of trying. The TeamSpeak exploded in an outrageous nerdgasm. It felt like the end of a movie where the hero has been through hell and it's finally over. So, that was probably my favorite single experience in World of Warcraft, if you're counting just moments I guess. The Twin Emperors in AQ40. Another question from a lot of people is, will I ever stream? I do want to stream eventually. The main thing that's stopping me right now is time, honestly. As some of you may know, I don't do YouTube as a job, and it's just something I do in my free time. I enjoy it quite a lot, but I put a lot of effort and care into my videos, and as a result, I don't really have the free time to spare to start streaming unless I start sacrificing other stuff in my life. And in this year in general, I've been trying to step away from the internet a bit more since I think I spent too much time on it already. I went inactive on Twitter. I stopped playing games other than World of Warcraft for the most part. I am playing through Final Fantasy VII as another project for another channel, which also eats up a lot of time, so things are pretty tight right now to be honest. Plus, I don't even know if I can stream. Right now, my upload speed is terrible. I think it's something like 0.5 megabits per second or something like that, and even uploading to YouTube already takes hours. So I don't even know if that's enough to stream. All that being said though, I do want to eventually upgrade my internet, and I do eventually want to make time to stream, but it's just not the right time for me. I'll keep you guys updated though, and hopefully soon because I think it could be fun. Next, we have one by Hannah, who asks for tips on things to do in-game to prevent burnout or boredom. This is a really good one because right now, we're entering that final phase of the expansion where we really won't get anything big until the battle for Azeroth. No more raids as far as I know, so things are pretty stagnant right now. Personally for me, making these videos keeps things fresh. Talking about things I find interesting, or making guides to help people with something keeps me interested in the game quite a bit since I'm motivated to do a variety of stuff. Keep an eye on the big news, chat with everyone about the game, and so on. Things like that. So, that's just me personally, but for people who just play the game, A big one I'd say is to read up on the lore. Something that reignited my interest for World of Warcraft back when I was pretty burnt out during the Wrath expansion was the actual story and lore behind the game. Up until that point, I was just playing the game for the gameplay and mechanics, and I think that if you're in that mindset, you eventually just lose interest. The Warcraft universe has so much story and lore behind it that you're bound to find something that you like, and connecting it to stuff in-game that you've done already was a really cool experience for me that made me actually start caring about what I'm doing in-game. Like, for example, Arthas Menethil, aka the Lich King. The World of Warcraft was my first game in the Warcraft universe, so I had no idea who he was at first. But through the storytelling in Wrath, it sparked my interest, and I started reading wikis and learned about who this villain actually is and how he got to this point. I read up on other characters such as Malfurion, the Prophet Velen, the Draenei race, Sargeras in the Burning Legion, and so on. It's a huge story, even with books written about all of these characters, and you'll do yourself a service by looking into it. For me, it reignited my interest in the game way back in the day, and it helped me better understand the gravity of our own actions in-game, and especially with Legions since it's so story-driven. It's the most story-driven expansion yet, and it's continuing with the battle for Azeroth it looks like, so now's a better time than ever to get up to speed in what's going down in Azeroth. Aside from that though, making alts has always been pretty refreshing for me personally. Starting from scratch, gearing up again, learning a new class, and so on. Maybe even trying different roles. If you've always played DPS, try healing or tanking. It's a much different world, and it might reignite your interest if you're getting a little bored with the game. And hey, now's a good time for that as well, since we just got the leveling scaling and revamp, which I heard is excellent, and with the new allied races, you can level a pretty fresh race. Anyways, that's about it for this one. Good questions as always. I think this was a pretty good episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you didn't see your question on here, there is a chance that it'll be in the next one since I did write a bunch of them down. I'll try to do another one soon if you guys would like that. As always, I hope you found the video interesting or helpful. Like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.